Hey there, guys and gals. This is your friend, your pal, B.L. Blankenship, comic book writer extraordinaire, literary writer, yada, 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 yada. I'm just trying to name off the relative points, okay? And I'm here with my co-host for this short little Star Trekian video, Queen Victoria. How did you get such a lovely co-host? People may wonder. I married her. She's here by force. All right, so anyway, we just did a Conjuring video moments ago, and I ran into the kitchen and I changed her background. She's over on my laptop while I'm on this fancy Benny Rachmanoff money camera that's hooked to the top of my computer. Got her a little Star Trek, bridge thing going. She said mine looks better, minus the Terran Empire, hell. Yeah, they're mean. I like the Terran Empire. So Victoria, sometime back, she likes to watch shows. She likes the sci-fi stuff, all that. And it's like, man, you need to get into Star Trek. And I got her into Star Trek. And we watched the original series together. And we watched Next Generation together. And we watched Deep Space Nine together. And we watched Voyager together. And we watched Enterprise together. And we just finished watching Discovery together. And we are also 100% caught up on Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Let's kick it off with those newer ones. Victoria, what did you think of the Discovery series?
That's a loaded question.
Did you like the storylines? You were entertained, weren't you?
Okay. This is a very loaded question. So I'm going to tell you what I totally think, which may make some viewers not see me very popularly.
It's the wokest Star Trek that we've ever seen.
It is.
It's completely woke, but the characters are likable. They are valuable characters. They're not just there.
Okay. So as far as the storyline, if you subtracted the wokeness out of it, it was the best ever. I was.
Is it one of your favorite storyline wise?
If you just look,
is that just because it's recent? Do you not remember how good Enterprise was?
Enterprise is probably my second favorite. It's between.
Blasphemy! I'm telling you, Enterprise is amazing. Scott Bakula is my boy.
Yeah,
Captain Jonathan Archer.
He's pretty awesome.
Go ahead.
There's a lot going on in it. I will tell you, the first season, I disliked it the most because it was big on the Klingon wars.
And a lot of it wasn't in English; it was in Klingon, and
and they had a lot of Klingon speak with subtitles. And I'm not a fan of the Klingon language, just how it sounds. You know how some languages sound pretty. The Klingon language does not sound pretty at all.
It suits them.
It suits them, but I would have rather heard English. And also, but it does set the tone of who Michael Burnham is for those that have not seen Discovery. Michael Burnham is the main character. And she's very incredible. I think one of the best. How much can I spoil this? I don't know.
You can say anything. This has been out for years. You say what you want to say.
Well, it hasn't been out for years. In fact, the last season was made last year, so it hasn't been out for years. I mean, I think
it's been out long enough.
It started in 2017, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So.
Okay, so let's break it down. So they've got the Klingon War in the first one, which you get a lot of stuff that's about the Klingon War that you hear about. That there's several different events in Star Trek history that you hear about. That's like the what did you call them? Where Khan and all them, where the people did the biological experiments. You hear about those wars that go on and all kinds of things. So it's cool that you at least saw the Klingon War. You've got that going on. You've got a sentient AI thing that's going on through a season in it. You've got a season where they're in the mirror universe. They go through time, and then they're the furthest point that they could possibly be in all of the Star Trek stuff I think they're like in the 3000s or something. So they're like
Mhm.
way past everybody. So it starts out being at the same time as Captain Pike, which Strange New Worlds, the current series, is there. And then the very first of the original Star Trek was there. So it starts out being at that time where Captain Pike is captaining the Enterprise. He even comes on, he's on there for what, like season 2 or something like that, or 3, whichever it is. And he's kind of like their interim captain. And then they're fighting against this thing. This is after the Klingon Wars when he shows up, and then boom, they're off into the future with their jacked up ship that has a spore drive, which no other ship has. So almost like at the speed of thought, it can go from point A to point B in the universe.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that was definitely the coolest thing about their ship was that spore drive.
We've never seen a Kelpian before either, have we?
No, I don't think we've seen a Kelpian, and that a Kelpian is a very unique species.
We've never seen the not is it the Romulans and the Vulcans living at peace with each other, and that
Yeah,
happens
that
in
was
the
very
future. They
neat.
change the name of the planet.
Hmm.
Hmm. That gets tied into it. It's not like made a big point, but it said that this has happened, and that's the way that their society is. It's not Vulcan anymore.
Yeah,
So your thoughts on it again is it's like your favorite Star Trek?
it is. But man, there was a lot of things, especially being a conservative person, I didn't like to see. There are no real sexualized scenes in it per se, but I don't like to see a man kissing a man. And
Mhm.
it
That
wasn't
happens a lot.
really.
It's
Huh?
not like a full on makeout, but that
Right.
happens.
It
That happens
wasn't
a
a
lot,
full on
and there's a lot
makeout.
of
It
love story
wasn't
elements.
really a big passionate kiss, but you could tell they were in love with each other, and that was
Well,
just
they were
sick.
married. They said at one point that they were married. Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
So you had that, and then you had whatever Tig, that's her real name. She's a comedian. Whatever her character was, and she talked about her wife that had passed away, and you had another couple that kind of had some things going on. So I don't think that no there was a heterosexual love story because it was the main character Michael Burnham and it was Book that you had their love story going on through like the
Well, and
last
there was a
two
love
seasons.
story with her previous. I think his name was Tyler.
Yeah, that was a love gone wrong. But yeah, so the main character, she had two different fellas that she liked in it, and one of them turned out badly, and the other was the love of her life that was in another lifetime in the future that she went to. But yeah, but no, they had some interesting story things. So anyway, prior to this, you said that your absolute favorite captain, and I'm completely getting some bias with you because they're both women. You like Captain Michael Burnham, and you like
Captain Janeway.
Janeway, baby. And so IDW's came out with several different Star Trek comic books recently, and they've done a bunch. But right now, they have Red Shirts. Number 1 and number 2 have came out. Now, you've not read any of those. The second one is terrific. The first one is a slow wind up, and the second one is the pitch. It's very much like war story type stuff. They're the people, the boots on the ground. They're fighting giant bugs and Romulans and all in it on a planet. So you've got that. You've got Strange New World, Seeds of Salvation, which you did read with me. And it says that it's Lovecraftian horror, even though the first one is just like a wind up. So it's a really slow go. They had the main characters in it. I thought that they captured them well enough, but not a lot happens in that story. And I said, hey, why don't you read this? And that's why I got this comic, honestly, because Janeway's in it and you're all about Janeway. And I thought Victoria might like this. What did you think of Star Trek Voyager Homecoming #1 of 5?
It was very, very well written. I was shocked because first off, I'm going to say I'm not a big fan of comic books, period. Shocking, right?
Mhm.
But I am forcibly made to read comic books living in this house. So, which is okay. I mean, we do things for love, right? That's what part of being married is, and loving someone is
Mhm.
doing what they ask you to.
When
So,
your husband's a comic book creator that drags you on podcasts and
yeah,
reads and does reviews for comics and writes comics that
yeah.
you have to proofread,
As long
yeah.
as it doesn't go against what I believe in, then it's okay.
Mhm.
I'm supportive. But anyway, I that one was shockingly good. It was very well written. Um, I'm not a very good describer of how things go. Only thing I could say is that throws you a curveball. I mean, some things have predictability in them when you're reading them, and you're like, "Oh, I can see what's going to happen next," but not
I'm a very good
exactly on this
describer.
one. What's that?
I'm a very good describer. We're gonna get into this book
Oh,
and we're gonna hash it out. Okay, so if you've seen Star Trek Voyager, then the things that they mention, where am I? The things that they mention in this book, um, they break down and talk about all the stuff that happened in Star Trek Voyager, how the Borg was taken down, how a future version of Janeway had come to her with futuristic weapons, all this type of stuff that's done. So they completely homage and pay tribute to the Star Trek Voyager series, which I like a lot. By the way, my boy, where's he at? The Doctor, he's in this a bunch. Yeah, you can see him right where there. You can see the Doctor in it. He's in this a bunch. He's got a lot to do. They said that that was the most popular character in the entirety of the show. Did you like the Doctor?
I like the Doctor. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
actually
See,
a
I know you
hologram,
do.
isn't
You go on about it.
he?
The villain in this series, I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out there, and we can get into talking about them. Was the one race that the Borg feared, and that is species 8472, which I knew I wouldn't remember that, and that's really why I just cracked this book open. 8472. And they are huge. They're boogery looking. Yes, that's on the show. Look it up. They're like from another dimension or whatever. None of them have been assimilated by the Borg. The Borg's afraid of species 8472. I thought that was awesome. And you know, the reason that they're after her is because she's got future tech and they want to take on Earth or whatever. And that's why it's a problem that she's back with stuff that she could take them on. Janeway could, which she kind of does with everything. Talk to me about it. The comic, Janeway, 8472.
Well, as you said, it's one of five. So it basically, it's about, they've spent, was it 7 years out in the Delta Quadrant?
Yeah. Or 7 years to get back from the Delta Quadrant.
Right.
Yeah.
So they finally made it. And then the ship is being taken over by that species, but they look just like the crew. So
And the
basically,
reason for that is because they got some of Chipotle's DNA back like whenever, and they never knew why, and it's so they can like put on like a visage, facade or whatever of like a human form.
mhm.
Yeah, they can mask
Yeah,
themselves and
so they
make
were
themselves look.
all cloaked as humans.
Yeah, yeah. You were huge into the series. You would talk about the series all the time back when you were watching it. You were a big Neelix fan. You like was he the one that had the romance with the lady that lives around here? And what was her name?
Yes.
Do you remember?
I can't remember her name.
Yeah, she had like the little pixie haircut, the blonde haircut. She lives out near us in Harriman, Tennessee. Same city. We're not in the
She
city
still
part, but
does. I'm not sure that she still does.
yeah, well she did. But yeah, and this is wild country. Yeah. What's her name that went to Rockwood High School? Played in Transformers. Big popular
Oh
actress. Is it
gosh,
Fox? Is it Fox? Is that her last name?
I don't know.
Whatever her name is, the one that was in Jessica's Body and Transformers and all that. Y'all know, big time actress. She's just a few years behind me at Rockwood High School. Mm. But yeah, and then where I was born in Toledo, that was Katie Holmes. That was went to the Catholic school just down the way. So yeah, but yeah, Roane County, Tennessee. Here we are since I was like 12. Any other thoughts on this, Victoria?
I can't wait to see what happens in the second one. It started off well enough to keep my interest going. So
You said to me, you said it like with enthusiasm, with gusto. You said, "This is the best Star Trek comic I've ever read in my life." And I'm like, she's only read one other Star Trek comic.
exactly.
And that was the Seeds of Salvation. And it didn't like kick off. And I thought, here she is. She's all wild and enthused, and I'm going to read it. And how good is it going to be? It's the best of all three of them that are going right now. Now, again, the Red Shirts thing, it's just hit its second one, and it is went into gear, y'all. So cool things are happening with Red Shirts in issue number 2. If you went from issue number 1 to issue number 2, you were 100% justified in doing that. Feel validated. You've got that. This issue starts off hot. It is on fire, pedal to the floor. And then they've got the last Starship that's coming out at the end of this month, I believe. So you've got another Star Trek series, and hang on, because it's got a preview of that in the back of here. And I know that it says who the enemy is in it. I just don't remember who it says that the enemy is. I don't know. It's in here. You've got some pictures of it, a bunch of explosions and drama and things, but that's in the tail end of Star Trek Voyager Homecoming. It's been my take. That's been Victoria's take by coercion. Thank you, Victoria. I appreciate your forced co-hosting here this evening. Hail to the Queen. Long live the Queen. Anything to say in closing before I click?
I wish we would have thought this out, but I would have played the song "The Things You Do for Love."
Yeah, I don't need to plan. I'm a drummer. I just go with it. I just click it into gear. I'm super steady. I just got it going. It's just like do it, do it, do it, do it. It's not a big deal. Don't matter. All right.